In this video, you're going to be building the TikTok Web 3.0 app with NextJS and Infura. You're going to be able to upload your videos to the blockchain so that they are available forever. And other users will be able to come over and review those videos and even give a thumbs up to them, like you should to this video. So with that said, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's just jump straight into it. All right, so before we actually get started, let's just go ahead and spin up this app because we haven't seen how it looks like. So what I'm gonna do is just type in yarn dev in the terminal, and that should pretty much get started with that should pretty much like get our server up and running. I'm just gonna go ahead and get started with a Chrome, and that's only because for whatever reason Safari isn't supporting any kind of wallets. That's weird. All right, so let's see what we got. We have this nice, beautiful design that we got here. So we got this nice, beautiful design, and this is what we're going to be working with. So there's a bunch of like pre-added data, and then there's going to be this guy with the upload. What's that? With the upload thing, upload modal, and then we will have a like button, which yeah. It's not defined, so it doesn't work yet. So that's fine. But this record is spinning, so we're good to go. Camera rolling. All right. Wow, there's a bunch of console log going on for no apparent reason. Let's actually get rid of those because you know how we roll. We don't do unreasonable console logging. There you go. All right. Now, with that said, I think what we're going to be getting started with is just the contract. So what I like to do initially is use Truffle to create a contract. So that's literally what we're gonna type in. Truffle, create a contract. And it's gonna be called magically TikTok. And before we actually forget about it, because that's a tendency I, like for whatever reason I do, is go into your migrations folder and create a new file with the title of 01 deploy.js and not KS, because that doesn't exist. There you go. And what we're going to be doing in here is, actually I'll just make this nice. I'll make the text bigger. I'll make things bigger. That's what she said. All right, you should see it now, right? Like just get a magnifying glass if you want. All right, so cons TikTok equals artifacts dot require TikTok. What that basically will do is when you go into your TikTok.sol file, it will look for this thing. So. And then just import it. And then next up, module. Whoa. I don't know what that is. Module.exports. And we're gonna export a function. It's gonna have an input of deployer, and then deployer.deploy TikTok. That's literally what we're gonna like. That's all we need, and then it's going to be only used when we try to like deploy the contract. So it's not necessary now, but I keep forgetting. So let's just get a word with it and let's go into the contract. All right, so the version that we're going to be using is the 0.8.16. Kind of forgot the numbers here. And let's just get started. So there's no need to have a constructor in this case, but there's a couple things that we're gonna do. So I just want to like set up all the structs, mappings, all that kind of stuff ahead of time. So let's just get started with a struct, and that's going to be it's going to be a video. So like a video object, this is how it's gonna look like. These are the props that each video object will have. So we're gonna have a caption. And then you want to put the semicolons at the end, because if you don't, it's going to be issues. Then we're going to have likes. We're going to have dislikes. We're going to have likes. We're going to have dislikes. And we're going to have an address, which is basically going to be the owner or the person who like uploaded the video itself. And we're gonna have an array of addresses that will contain basically the likers. Actually, I can just put that like right there. So there's that. All right, so now we're gonna do some relatively advanced stuff. We're gonna have a mapping, and this mapping will map addresses to another mapping, which will map a uint, a uint to a bool. It's gonna be interesting. And it's gonna be a public, and it's going to be liked users. So we're going to be mapping each user's address who's using this app to whether they like this specific post or not. So what this will mean is we'll have my address, my wallet address, and I'm gonna go in and see it and like start watching video number 0 and then decide to like it. It's gonna be my address mapped to another mapping, which is like 0 true. And so that basically all that means is I like the first video or like the 0th video, but I'm talking like human language now. So basically that's what it will mean. We'll get to it in a second, kind of try to understand what it means, but you'll understand it later on. We're gonna have another mapping in the meantime, which will be a number mapped to a video, right? And that will be another public one, and that will be the videos themselves. So this is where we are going to map the IDs to the videos themselves. We could have just created an ID here, but we are trying to show like different ways of building contracts. So we're gonna go this way now. What happened there? And we're gonna create yet another mapping, and it's gonna be another number, and this is gonna be another number in here, and this is gonna be public again, and this we'll call likes. So we are going to keep track of each like for each video ID. So you'll have a video ID, and then you will be able to map, like we're gonna use a bunch of mappings here, all right? So video number 0, this is how much likes it has. These are the users that actually liked it. And then like when you pass in an address, you're gonna be able to figure out whether like which videos did that specific person like. So there's a lot of like weird connections, but this is an advanced tutorial, bro. All right, and we're gonna have one more variable, which is gonna be a uint. It's gonna be public, and we're just gonna call it video count. Oops. And let's just do it that way. That's going to be initialized at 0, obviously, and then we're just gonna keep incrementing it. Now, whenever you create a new video, you wanna have an event that you're going to like emit. And this is some blockchain stuff. We haven't really done this before, but basically what this will do is, it's like kind of like console logging, but onto the blockchain, it's like better. So you don't have to like worry about it much. You can completely leave it out, but it's just like adds that one level of extra to the video. So keep it, I think. Anyways, video created. And we'll have a normal, regular stuff like that, like a regular circular, what is it? Like a paren. So we're gonna have an ID, we're gonna have a string that will be basically the caption. We're gonna have a URL, number of likes, dislikes, and the owner. That's pretty good. Oh, and that crazy thing is going on because I have to like close it like that, and that should have solved all the issues. So that's good. We're gonna have 2 more events. One of them is video liked, and we're gonna have a number, a uint. It's gonna be an ID, and we're going to have the likes, like basically a number of likes passed in here. And another event, which is video dislike. So like I said, you just want to like console log everything. It's going to be the same input. So there's your like basic setup. And now it's actually time to go ahead and create a new video. So we're going to have a new function in here. with all that like random stuff. So function, and we'll call it create video. All right. Now we're gonna have a couple of things that we'll have to pass in here. So we're gonna pass in the caption whenever we call this function and a URL. So the URL basically is just like a TikTok link or some sort of like video link that we're going to store on the blockchain. And before we even do anything, just like video count plus plus. So you want to increment that immediately. And videos.video count, or I mean like video count. Yep. So what is videos before we go any further? There's your videos. All right. So the ID that we just incremented, we're going to use that immediately to store our first video and map the first video to that specific counter. All right. And we're going to create a new video using the structure that we created up here. So there's that. Let's go ahead and start passing in caption URL. And we're going to have 0 likes, 0 dislikes, and message sender is going to be the owner. And we're going to create a new array of addresses that like doesn't have anything in there. Oh, I forgot a comma there. So there's that. Well, that's interesting. Oh, that's because I changed up the order. So let's go ahead and swap them around and we should be good to go. Okay, so yeah, basically we want to match these items to each of these elements. So you want to take these and match these items to these elements that you're passing in. So first, obviously, the caption, URL, likes, dislikes, yada yada yada. So you want to make sure that the order is specific. Now, once you're done with that and your team no events, I think that's how I'm gonna call all of you slackers. You can basically skip anything that's happening after I type emit. But for those that are like elite and actually doing events, we're going to emit a new event, which is like something we already prepped here. So we're gonna pass in the ID, which is video count. We're going to pass in the caption. We're going to pass in URL 00 and message.sender. So once again, you want to map everything to these. And I'm like, when I say map, it's kind of like that mapping, but it's like your brain does the mapping. So get it right. All right. Now, if you haven't heard of it before, or if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, I like to use something called the Remix ID extension inside of VS Code. So this is that guy. Now go ahead, install it. There's no setup needed at all. Once you're done, that's the icon that you want to click. Takes a little bit of time to load up, but once it's done, you want to select the corresponding version. So if it's 0816, you want to go with that specific version. And now just hit run and deploy and hit activate on the pop-up window. And once you're there, notice that you're gonna have the output coming up and could not detect network, whatever, or you might have something else there. Now, there are two options that you can do right now. One is go to your Infura account and select Girly, which is gonna be the network we're going to be using to have this tutorial when we deploy the contract. Now you can pick this and get this RPC URL is what it's called. Paste it here. However, I don't recommend it because test networks are a little slower than your local. So what you can do instead is go to trufflesuite.com/ganache and then select that bad boy. Download it, install it, and this is how it's going to look like. There you go. There's our Ganache. Now, what you will not see is this. It's obviously not my Ganache that's on your machine, so completely forget about that. But if you hit quick start, bringing in the exact same thing. Now, if you come in here, you want to go ahead and copy this RPC server type of thing. Copy that guy. Go over and then paste it here. If you can see that, that's literally the exact same link. And once you hit connect, it's going to connect. So that's cool. Now I'm going to open up a secondary sidebar and then just pull output there. It's because I prefer it showing up there so I can hide that bottom thingy because it's a better use of space in my opinion. And notice there's a couple of things that you will be able to do. Obviously disconnect your account. And then there's going to be all these, and then there you will have access to a bunch of these wallets. Now, these wallets are exactly these wallets. So what Ganache does is it gives you 100 ETH and it's like a locally running blockchain server type of thing on your machine. So you don't have to use testnets, which are like kind of slow sometimes, but there you go. And what you can do is if you have a contract opened, it's going to give you the option to compile that. So let's do that. Let's see what that does. So like you can see, it says please wait and compilation finished, and there you go. Now you can now go ahead and deploy this contract. Let's see what that does. And there you go. That's what happened there. So if you open this, it's literally the exact same thing that we just created, right? So there's like all kinds of stuff, like you can call the video count, which will literally, like all this will do when you create a variable is under the hood, it creates like a call function to it. Like what is a call function? It's basically, if you're familiar with APIs, it's like a get method function, but for the blockchain. So there's that. You can read data from the blockchain for my beginners out there. All right. And then there's like this transact thingy. That's like post calls. And if you're like super beginner, it's like adding data to the blockchain, but get familiar with transactions and calls and also get familiar with get and post. Because if you're not, you're gonna get left behind. All right. So when you call that video count, it's gonna return 0, which is pretty cool because we don't have to give it any kind of value, and the initial value that Solidity gives it is 0 by itself. So that's pretty cool. Some languages don't know that. That's why we use Solidity. And then there's like a bunch of things, so like we don't even have to worry about these, but there is this, let's just go through like what these mappings are. So you see the first mapping, it's like the pretty crazy one, but initially, let's just go through the second one. So videos. What you can do is pass in a uint, which is just a number, like an integer. And what I'm gonna do is just pass in 0 and see what happens. And literally nothing happens. So it like sends me back all the basic default stuff. It's not valid. Basically what that means is there's no videos created or no videos added to that specific ID. There's no video with an ID of 0, is what I'm trying to say. And then you can do the exact same thing for like likes. There you go. It like gave you back at 0. So it's like not even valid at all. Oh yeah, it's like, it gave you back a 0 because once again, that's the initial value. Whoa, what happened there? And then here you can put in an address. So I'm just gonna go ahead, copy one of my addresses, paste that guy there, and then video ID is gonna be 0 in this case. Call that, and like see, like there's no data that would exist there. So like how would it know if it's a true or a false? You know what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? It's like a lot of undefined stuff. Now with that fiddling. But that's basically how it works, and it will eventually, we're gonna use all this stuff. So don't worry about it. We're just gonna like populate it with data. All right, video, create video. What do we have to do? We gotta put in a caption and we gotta put in a URL. Now, because those are strings, I'm just gonna go with like dummy data. So I'll put in a caption and I'll put in a totally URL, because that's totally a URL. Hit transact, and there's some things happening here. Gas is being used, some kind of gaslighting. So there's like all kinds of stuff happening here, and then random gaslighting and things of that nature. But we don't really know what is really happening in the background unless we are able to call it. So let's try to call video count, and now as you can see, it says 1. So that's helpful. Let's see if we get back the data that we just added. And there you go. It sent back all the data we wanted. All right, so it's a weird data structure that we're gonna have to get used to it. But basically, let me just copy it and we'll run through it. So I just created a temp.json file. You don't have to follow, but I just wanted to show you what's happening here. To basically get the exact same data twice. Now, this is just the basic this is how Solidity does it by itself, and then this is the data structure that you gave it to it. So just something to get used to, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be easier to just refer to these things, and then later in the video, you'll realize that we're going to be using this stuff. All right. Now you're literally getting back every single data piece that you just passed in. So that's pretty cool. Let's move on. Now, a few things that we're going to be needing in this contract, and I'm not going to go through all the testing. Just I'm going to do an overall testing session at the very end. Am I even recording? Oh, okay, there. Oh my God. All right, so a few other functions that we're going to be needing is, first one is going to be just function get number of videos, and it's just going to be like a regular public function that returns a number. Oops, like that. And all it will do is just say return video count. That's it. Done. We're going to be needing it on the front end. Don't worry about it for now. Let's just move on. There's going to be two more functions. One of them is going to be like video, and I'm just going to like make it as simple as possible, and let's just initialize another one, which is going to be, you guessed it, this like video. All right. We're going to get started with like video, but it's going to be almost the exact same thing in a dislike one. So you'll have an opportunity to like test out your Solidity skills after this one. All right, like video. What are we going to do? We're going to create an instance of the specific video that we're trying to like. So we're going to need to pass in a uint, which is going to be the ID. And if you see all these like underscores in here and up here, basically all that means is that we're only using those variables within these functions, and there's no, like they have no business outside of those functions. It's like internal use only. Easy, that's it. All right, so let's go ahead and create a storage. Let's go ahead and create a instance of the video that we're trying to like here. So we're gonna have a video, and then we're gonna grab the specific video from using the ID that we just passed in. All right. Now, once we got that, we also have to make sure that the liked users for that specific video, all right, select users. It's like users who like the post, but that would be a way too long variable names. Comment down below, like, what would be a better name there. But anyways, you gotta pass in. There's a couple things that we need to pass in. Remember, we're gonna pass in an address, we're gonna pass in the ID, and that will return a Boolean, all right? And we're gonna pass in message sender, the person who is trying to like that specific video. Oops. And we're gonna need to pass in the ID, all right? So we need to make sure, all right, so we need to make sure that the person who's trying to like the video haven't liked this video before, all right? And if they have, let's just like gently remind them that you have already liked this video, all right? That's it. And I keep forgetting the semicolon, but you shouldn't. All right, moving on. Likes. We're gonna update all these mappings, all right? So we're gonna update all these mappings, all right? So we're going to have likes, and we're gonna go ahead and update the value of it. So you can just go plus, or if you're not that familiar with that, you just go likes underscore ID +1. Basically, take the value of this, add 1 to it, and then just like give that value to this specific mapping item thing. And then same thing is gonna have underscore video, and then we just like basically do all the admin work around the like. So we're gonna have to grab the video instance that we just created and push the message sender to the like users array, and we're actually gonna say push and push in message that sender. So that's just going to like, again, all right, and like literally, let's just finish all the administrative work around this like functionality. So underscore video, which is the video instance you just created. And let's just update the likers array by pushing, by pushing message sender in there. What does this do again? Grab the video that we just created up here. So like the video that we're trying to like, right? And then there's this array called the likers, not Lakers, haha. And then pushing the message sender, meaning the person who actually liked that video, push them in there so we can keep track of them. And now we gotta update all the mappings. So this here that we require it to be false, we're gonna make sure that now this is gonna be true. So we do it with one equal sign, and then we just update it to true. And instead of colon, we're gonna have a semicolon. And now we're going to update the actual array of videos that we created somewhere here. And now we're actually gonna go ahead and update this mapping by saying that videos ID equals video. So there's a couple of things happening here. Once again, let's just run through it. So we create a local instance like just for this specific function. Outside of this guy is not even gonna exist. So we create an instance using the mapping that we originally have. What you wanna do is work on only one object and then just like update that and then push that right back to its place and then get rid of the old value. So that's what we're doing. We're gonna pick that out and then we're gonna do stuff with it. All right, now, we're gonna need this to determine whether the person who is trying to like this video has already liked it or not. If they did, if they haven't, let's just get them through, which is this stuff. And if they have, then we're gonna like send this error message back and don't let the process go through. Now, we're going to increase the amount of likes this video has on it. So up that a number. So up that by 1 basically. And we're going to also store the person who liked the video in an array, and then also update the mapping for the specific user, whether they liked the video or not. And finally, whatever modifications we did on that local instance of that video, just put it back, get rid of the old value, and that's pretty much it. Now, for my rich people who emit events, we're going to emit the video liked event, pass in the ID and then the amount of likes. And that's basically pretty much the like functionality. Now I want you to go ahead, pause this video and try to figure out the dislike functionality by yourself. And if you're for whatever reason you couldn't figure it out, it's okay completely, because we're here to learn. Let's go ahead and do that now. So just like last time, we're gonna have to pass in an ID, and we're gonna go ahead, create, just like last time. Actually, I'm not even going to type all that. You can literally copy this guy and then put this right there, put that capital V right there, new requirement. And now in this case, we wanna check that the person, like this case, we want to make sure that the person has actually liked the video. So instead of false, we're going to require that this is true. And we're going to update the message, and we can be like, hey, you have to like the video first. And now what you want to go ahead and do is decrease the number of likes, just like that. And then update the mapping to be false, and so the person can like it again, and then update the modified value. And then again, for my rich people video dislike, pass in the ID and pass in the number of likes. And that is pretty much your contract. Actually, there's one more function that we're gonna make, which is going to be get videos like that, and it's going to be a public function which will return a video view returns which will basically return all the videos that we have stored on the contract. So we're going to create a new array we're going to create a new array which will just populate with all the stored videos from the chain. So you're just gonna like define the structure of it and all that kind of stuff, and you're gonna make sure that this is not going to be longer. Like there cannot be more items in that specific array than the number of videos we already stored on the blockchain. And so once you're done with that, you want to map through. You want to literally loop through all the videos that we have uploaded. With a regular, boring, old for loop. And then one by one, push them into the array that we just created. Now you might notice that I'm doing some wizardry here. Actually, that's some weird stuff going on there. But basically what's happening is that the number of videos, the video IDs are starting with 1. And that's because we are incrementing the video count over here. Now, this guy is starting from 0. So like there's a couple of things that we can do here. We can make this start at 1 and then add the equal sign there, but it's not like, no one really does less than equal to unless I'm just not aware of it. So we just opted for going this way, and then obviously the video IDs have to match. The video IDs have to keep up with this, so you gotta add 1 to it, and that way you're gonna be fine. Now, once you're done with that, just return that array, and you're good to go. All right, now let's go ahead and actually test this out as it is. I'm just gonna add a couple of stuff in here, and before we test out, you want to make sure that everything you had here, just get rid of it all. No need for that. I'm going to recompile everything that you have, and should be good to go now. Empty out the output because, oh wait, clear that because there's no reason for you to see all that stuff. Deploy that bad boy, and you're good to go. All right, new video, caption. Woohoo. Caption, and then put in a URL, totally URL number 2. Transact that. All right, gas burning is there. All right, let's get the number of videos. There's 1 video, get videos, get all of the videos. All right, there you go. There's literally every information that you need to do. You need to know. There's your caption, there's your URL, number of likes, dislikes, the array of likers, which is currently an empty array because nobody likes this video. And then the owner, which is me, myself, and I. All right, let's see number of likes. 1. You're gonna pass in the ID. All right, 0, perfect video count. I think we tested that already. And then videos, let's get back to data. ID is going to be 1, pass it in, you get back all the data. That's pretty good by my standards. All right, let's go ahead and like that video. There you go. All right, well, there's all the gaslighting going on. And let's check the number of likes once again. So call that, and it says 1. So we're pretty much good to go for this. That is your contract. Let's go ahead and deploy it now. All right, let's go ahead and deploy this contract that we have right over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up that thing down there, pull my output back there, because that's something we're going to be using in a little bit. And what you want to do is go into your extensions and now install Truffle. And the good thing about Truffle is it's pretty well integrated with Ganache and Infura, so it's going to be helpful. By the way, this is the one that you want to download Truffle or VS Code by Consensus Software, and they have the check mark, so that's cool. All right. All right, this is the thing that you will see, this little like truffle looking thingy, and you will have 2 networks over here, Ganache and Infura. And if you don't have them, you can literally just click connect network and then connect it. So what you can do once you're done is go into like right click on the tiktok.sol file and hit build. Now you can also hide the secondary window or the secondary sidebar. And let's just like compile it. So build it, and there you go. Everything is up to date, nothing to compile. That's pretty cool. And let's go ahead and deploy now. Wait, I'm clicking the wrong phone. And if you don't have the deploy file, it's not gonna work. So make sure you have it. All right. Now, if you right click on tiktok.sol and then hit deploy, and you have Ganache connected, which once again, super easy. Let me just show you real quick. So I'm just gonna say connect, select Ganache, and then you're gonna put in a port. Now, how you get the port? That's your port right there, 7545. Paste that in there, and you're good to go. And that will connect automatically. So I'm gonna clear the output and go back here and deploy it to Ganache first. So that's gonna be my local, and hit that. Let's see what happens. And if you get the contract address and successful deployment, then you're basically good to go. Now what you want to do is go ahead, copy this guy, close that, and then go into your utils file and contract.js. Now here, it was a little fast. Utils, contract.js. All right, that's where you want to go once you copy the contract address. Just create a new variable called, I don't know, contract address or something like that, and then just pop that in there. Or actually, we can literally just call, we can literally just call it address. No need to go too fancy on it. But what that does is, we're just gonna save it for there for now. Don't worry about it. And then the one more thing you want to make sure is go into your artifacts, and then there's this tiktok.json file. All right, that's something called the ABI. Now, this is in a different format, but here's the ABI that we're gonna be using. So you can either copy that or just copy this entire file and paste it right into the utils folder. All right, and then what you can do is go ahead and import that as contract ABI or something like that. And we're just gonna tiktok.json, and there you have it. Now you have access to it. Now, with these two things, we can create a brand new function, which will be create contract. Oops. What happened to my keyboard? Oh. Create contract, and there's no input here. There's like literally nothing to input. Now what you want to do is store, like destructure the Ethereum object from your window. From window. So what's that? Like, that doesn't make sense. Window, if you don't know it, that's the all the code that is running in your browser. And then Ethereum is the specific code that MetaMask injects into your browser whenever it's running. So there you go. I'm just gonna go ahead and unlock it. And there's like all kinds of code going on in the background, and MetaMask injects some into it, and that'll make it easy to interact with the contract. Now, if this Ethereum object exists in my window, then what I want to do is create a new instance of Web3 by using the Web3 JS library. So let's go ahead and import that. Oops, like that. And that should be good to go for now. And then we're going to return a new Web3 ETH contract using the contract ABI and the address. Now, once again, as I said it earlier, you want to go for the ABI itself. All right, so there's a bunch of random code in here, which we're not really going to need, so just use that, and then you can just refer to that. And then that basically takes care of all the contract interaction type of stuff. All right, now that we're done with our Ganache our Ganache deployment, what you want to do is once again hit deploy on that bad boy, but this time you want to select Girly and leave the gas price empty. And then here, if you haven't worked with this extension before, you will only have paste mnemonic and generate mnemonic. Because I have worked with it, I already have this thing there, and that means that I already have a wallet set up with my truffle. So what you can do if you don't have it is go into your MetaMask and then click that click that guy. Click settings, I don't even know where to go. Hit privacy, security, whatever, and then secret recovery phrase, and then just pop in your password. Now, do not share this with anybody, and just like keep it separate from where your money is at. Like just think basically, all right? Like whenever someone has access to your secret recovery phrase, that basically means they have full control over your wallet. So, and then like if you think that, oh, your wallet might be at risk, just generate a new one, put your funds somewhere safe, just like use your brain, all right? But in this video, and I want to like emphasize this, we at Clever Programmer will never ask for your private key or any kind of private stuff. We don't even ask for your public keys, all right? We don't ask for anything. So if anybody in the comments pretends to be us, it's not us. Be smart. Save your money. All right. So there you have it. Grab that, and once you paste it there, it's gonna be something. Oops. Yeah, paste. And then you paste something in there, and then this window will pop up. Now, you can save it somewhere, and then this extension will remember it just like it remembers for me. So I'm just gonna pop Girly there in again, and then you can just use it like that. So there you go. Now it's gonna take a little extra time because once again, it's a test net, it takes longer. So I'm just gonna fast forward there and then show you what the result is. By the way, if your deployment is stuck, there's gonna be that little thing going down there. What you wanna make sure is that you have your notifications on, but mine's are off because I like to focus. Just click that install button, and then you're gonna be basically good to go. This is gonna take a little extra time, and there are like all kinds of random things going on here, so I'm just going to remove that. And then it failed for whatever reason. Let's check it out. Well, let's go ahead and try again. I don't really understand what's happening. Oh, I think it just timed out because it, oh wait. All right, so if that issue happens to you, you might want to go ahead and create a separate folder for your next app. So you can just create a folder, it's called Next App, put your pages, and then like leave everything contract related out here. So you're gonna need your context, your components, not build the next folder, pages, public styles, and your next config, package JSON, and I think those are the only ones. Oh, ESLint and the .env file. So once you have all these, go ahead, grab them, and then just throw them in there in the next up folder. So that should technically take care of a lot of things. So go into your terminal then. We're gonna reset that. And then you're gonna have to cd into your next app folder and then just run the yarn in there. Let's see if that figures itself out. And in the meantime, the reason we're doing that is there's some peer dependency issues there. So that's fine, we'll figure it out. Now you also want to make sure you update your git ignore and remove all these folder things. Because otherwise it will only look in this very specific folder. However, I need it to look in all other folders. And now you can see your git thing is only recognizing 55 changes, not 200, 5,000, whatever. So we'll not need that. And let's try deploying this guy again. So put in Girly. Open that bad boy, install it, npmi, and then that should technically generate a new package JSON file soon. I think it did it already. I just don't see where it's at. Oh, there you go. There it is. And that should be the only file that is out there. Or that should be the only dependency that the outer project has. This is, once again, these are like things that will come with experience. Don't worry about it if you didn't figure it out by yourself. Like, there's nothing shameful about it. All right, so once you've done all of that, there's still gonna be a couple of errors if you're like me. However, it might have solved it. So there's a few things just to wrap it up again. What you need to do. So create a Next-app folder, and you will need to pass in all these files, and then just remove any everything. Like, all of these stuff have to come in here in your git ignore. That's step number 1. Step number 2, in the git ignore file, all these files will have a slash in front of them, just like this one, and I forgot about it. Remove all the slashes. Literally, you can come in to Command F, click that thing, and then just put a slash in there, and then put nothing there, and then just like one by one remove all the slashes. That removes it from the comments, but it doesn't really matter there. So you don't want to see any kind of slashes in here, because that will make this file only look for those folders in here and not 1 or 2 levels deeper. Once that's done, remove all the node modules. So remove your node modules from there, remove your node modules from out here, and that should put you in a pretty good place. Now, these are the only files that you should be seeing. In fact, you shouldn't even be seeing this. This is just one of my extensions, so I'm just going to remove it. You're not going to have that file. See, these are the files that you should see here. Everything else that is basically has anything to do with your front-end application has to be put in here. All right, so this is something that, all right, now you're gonna learn. And actually, I'm pretty glad we made this mistake. This is a mistake on our end. However, if you happen to ever do this, now you're gonna be prepared for that. So everything bad has something good in it. Look at the positive end of stuff. All right, so now you just learned that skill, and then once you're done and remove everything, open up your terminal. I said terminal. Stop everything, and then you will have to run reset a couple times. Whatever. I'm just gonna restart both of my terminals here, and then in one folder, what you want to do is cd into your Next-app folder, and then just run yarn and let it do its thing. That will ensure that your Next-app is ready to go, and then we'll restart it in just a second. And this other one is only going to be used for like installing stuff. All right, just type in yarn dev once that's done, and then your Next-app should be pretty much good to go. All right, there are like stuff that are not working perfectly. So let's see. Oh, apparently, okay, so I forgot my utils folder. So put that there too. That's gonna need to be there. All right, there you go. Now it's working. There we go. We're good there. All right, so that should be good. And now what you want to do is now you will be able to deploy the contract. All right, it might still give an error, but there should be no other kind of error. The reason that other error was happening is because contract deployment needs a specific version of React, but or like a specific dependency. However, the Next-app requires a different version of that, and that conflicts, and then it just like throws all kinds of errors. So figured it out, good to go. All right, now it failed again. So that's because we just like didn't install anything there. So let's run yarn there, and when it comes to like blockchain, sometimes yarn doesn't seem to work, sometimes npm doesn't work. So what I like to do is just run both of them, and then usually that saves me a lot of headache. So once my yarn finished running, I'm just gonna go ahead and run npm install as well, just for good measure. Totally no need to do that, but I'll just do it anyways. And then let's see what do we got now. So I'll reset that terminal. That one is running, so that's good. Hit my contracts, TikTok Soul, deploy that bad boy, and then just select girly. All right, now it's waiting, and now it's throwing me a different error. So it says error user project is inactive. All right, that's fine. That error I'm pretty familiar with, and that's fine. So in your truffle, what you want to do is check if your Infura service is connected to the right project. All right. Obviously, like if the project is not existing in my account out here on Infura, it's obviously not going to work. So you got your TikTok, right? But it says eBay there. That's fine. I can just right click on that guy. I saw that guy and then disconnect it. Cool. Now, you might be using the truffle extension for the very first time, and in that case, when you connect to the Infura service, it will pop open a little window here that will just force you to sign in. All right. Once you sign in, that guy will come up, and then you can pick it up where I'm at. So once you signed in, easy, it just pops up in your browser, hit authorize, and you're good to go. Then you can just select the project you want to connect to. Okay. And we should be good to go pretty much now. All right, let's go back. And for the 5th time at this point, select Girly, Infura TikTok clone. Girly, 0 gas price, and create that guy. We'll use that guy. There's another. User project is inactive. Okay, well, if that happens, let's go into our truffle config. So here, you can just clearly like take this entire networks thing and just get rid of the entire thing. Like you don't need any of that. It will be regenerated, so it's complete. That's fine. All right, hit deploy again. Girly, no guest price. Paste that. Let's see if it like goes through this time. So far so good because it takes longer times and it's like deploying and rah. All right, let's see. Like the other ones were like way faster at throwing the error, and there you go. I think this is already good to go. It's like there's a bunch of steps and there's a bunch of places where it can go wrong. This was a good debugging session where you will be able to face a ton of errors that all of us face on a daily basis. And if you miss like one step, this is where you can come back to figure out all the errors that you might have made somewhere. So there it is. And then when you see all these blocks, like that's when actually it's like verifying that it is being deployed, and the transaction hash that you see here, that's being verified on these blocks. So let's wait for it. And whenever you see your contract address, that's when you know you're good. And it also says like deploy succeeded. And it also says deploy succeeded. So that's pretty much it. Now you want to go ahead, copy this number too, or like this address as well, and then go back to your utils. So now inside of next step, and then hit the contract file. And then after here, you can go ahead and put in the, I don't know, just like say something like, okay, this is ganache, and then export const address again, and then say girly, and then just like comment out this entire line. And whenever we are ready, you can literally just change it to this specific address, and then this will be available for anybody out there. You can share it with your friends, family, whatever, and they will be able to use your app. It's that sad. That was a pretty rough deployment, but we made it. And if you made it this far and you have that same error, I usually like just get rid of that ESLint file, and it usually goes away in a little bit. But if you made it this far, you're a champ. Let's keep on going. All right, now with the deployment done, let's go ahead and start connecting our wallets to this bad boy. So there's a few things that we're gonna need to do. So go into your app.js file, and then in here, we're gonna import a couple of things. We already have our context set up, so don't have to worry about that. That's pretty cool. Thanks, Kevin, shout out. All right, so we're gonna import the CSS file of RainbowKit. All right, so RainbowKit /styles.css, and then we're gonna import a couple more things. So there's chain, singular, there's configure chains, and then there is create client, and then there is wagme config, and all this comes from wagme. Now I don't know what's good there? It got imported a couple times. Well, there you go. All right, now that should look way better. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and import a couple more things because we're not done yet. So we gotta get default wallets and rainbow kit provider, and you also need dark theme because we want to make it look cool. And all this is coming from at rainbow kit or rainbow me / rainbow kit, whatever you can read. And then two more things. You got we're gonna need the Infura provider. We're gonna need the providers. So we're gonna need Infura provider from wagme / providers / Infura, like that. And then I'm just gonna duplicate that line and change that to JSON RPC like that. And I'm gonna import JSON RPC provider from there. Pretty good. And just like in a couple previous videos that you might have seen or might haven't. If not, what are you doing? Just like put it on your watch later, watch after this one. All right, const. You want to destructure chains and provider from, configure chains like that. And then we're gonna have two arrays in here. All right, so the first one is gonna be the chain. So we're gonna have chain.girly, and then we're gonna have not JSON, chain.localhost. Perfect, our chains are ready to go. And then next up, we're gonna create the providers. So we're gonna have two. We're gonna have the Infura provider, which will need the API key. All right, so let's put that guy there, and then we're gonna say process.environment. Let's go to the env file. All right, so that's the key that we'll need. Put that there, and that will basically like import it. And then you also want to up the priority. So the priority is going to be 1, meaning any kind of chains that we're gonna connect to with this app, first we're gonna look for it on Infura. If Infura happens to not support that specific chain, then we're gonna need to add the JSON RPC provider. So JSON RPC provider, like that. Open paren, open that squiggly. New line, set the priority number 2, meaning it's going to be coming after the Infura one, and then just put in the RPC link chain, and then initiate a function which will return this HTTP object, which is going to be once again 7545. This is coming from Ganache. So where's my Ganache? There it is. Once again, this is your link. Put that there, and you should be good to go. Actually, what I want to do is just copy this whole entire thing, just in case there's some weird stuff. That should be coming back to localhost, but like weird things happen sometimes. Let's just make sure that everything is identical. All right, let's go ahead and create some connectors here. Get default wallets. And then pass in a few things. You're gonna pass in app name is going to be, what is this? TikTok, just like that, perfect. And then you wanna pass in chains, nice. You got the connectors there. And then last but not least, you wanna create a wagme config. So wagme config equals create client. And you want to enable auto connect. It's going to be true. Then you want to enable you want to pass in connectors, and you want to pass in provider. And now it should be good to go. All right, now we want to wrap this around our application. So we're going to need the wagme config, and then you want to pass in the variable that you just created as your client. Hey, there you go. All right, close that bad boy. Wrap it around. Bam. Error is gone. Cool. All right, now you're going to need rainbow kit provider, theme, dark theme, but make it a function. Enable cool mode, because that's pretty cool. And then we also want to pass in chains. And it should be that guy. So yeah, once you put that there, you're good. All right, close that. And after app provider, it should be ready to go too. All right, that should be pretty much enable you to do it. All right, there's some hydration error going on. Let's refresh. Let's see if it's still there. No, it's not. That's pretty good. All right, now we're gonna add the connect button and the conditional rendering. All right, so for that, you want to go into our index.js file, and then we're going to import a couple of things here. So first of all, we're going to need use account, all right, from wagme, because wagme is cool and they take care of all the account related stuff and all the wallet connection related stuff. All right, so you want to have a use effect. I don't know if we imported that or not. Yup, we haven't. So we're gonna need that soon. And then whenever address changes, and by the way, what is address? You wanna go ahead and destructure address from a use account first, like that. So whenever that changes, you wanna update a state, which we have to define here. So user account, and you will have set user account like that, which will be a use state. Bam, just like that. And I like to put that stuff up there. Nice. So whenever the connected wallet changes, you will basically update the use state. So just like that. And then you want to grab this guy. This actually should be user account. Wow. Whenever that guy is actually true, meaning that there is a value, you want to render out this whole thing. Let's see what we got there. Okay, so that's interesting. That's probably because I still have it connected to my wallet is still connected. So let's see if I disconnect this and then this. All right, there you go. So now it seems like it's a completely empty thing. That's fine. That's fine. So now what we're gonna do is go ahead and import a connect button. So it's gonna be connect button from rainbow.me/rainbow-kit, and then grab that guy, and that guy will basically take care of our entire wallet pop-up and things like that. So thank you, Rainbow-kit. Let's see what we got. Bam, connect. Bam, cool mode. Let's go with the second one. Next, connect. Bam. Okay, it says wrong network. That's fine. No issues. Actually, it's not wrong network. It might be. Oh, so there's some sort of issues. There's some sort of issue with the chains right now. Let's figure out what's happening there. Okay, so I think I figured out what the issue is. If you go back into your app.js file, we gotta put in these chains, all right? And yeah, plural and singular sometimes gets messed up, so you wanna just make sure that these are the chains that you're passing in there. That should, yeah, there you go. They literally just fixed it in real time. You don't even have to worry about it. And now it gives you this nice little connect, disconnect, and then network switcher thing. So that's that. Wallet connection is ready. Let's go ahead and connect the functionality to this app, and we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and get started connecting all the features. So Our boy Kevy Kevs has already set up our context, so that's pretty good. Now we don't have to worry about that. So go into your context file. That's where we're gonna be I literally just opened it and closed it straight away. That was dumb. Alright, let's go into context. And here's gonna be a few things that we're gonna be setting up straight away. So we're gonna have to import a couple of things. Just like we did it on the index file, we're gonna need the use account from WAGME, and we're gonna need to import, we're gonna need to import create contract. Hey, create contract. It would help if I could like type without typos, apparently. All right. Next up, we're going to create a couple of use states in here. And so we're going to need a user account and a set user account use state, which will start off as empty or like empty strings. Then you're going to need a contract instance, basically. And that's what we're going to be using to interact with the smart contract itself. And then we're going to store the video data somewhere. So we're going to have videos and set videos, and that's going to start off as a empty array. And so with that said, let's go ahead and destructure address from our use account, and let's fix the typo again. And we're gonna get started with, and we're just gonna like jump straight into it. So we're gonna need a use effect. All right, so we're just gonna initialize everything. So whenever the address changes, and if you don't know what use effect is, it's basically just a piece of code that runs once when you fire up the application. And if you pass in any kind of variables here, it's just gonna keep on running whenever that thing changes. And that's what we wanna do, because if you change the wallet that's connected to your app, you want everything to refresh. All right, because like imagine you log in with your wallet, and the next user comes in, logs in with their wallet, but they start spending your money. All right, pretty easy to understand why it's important. All right, now you obviously want to go ahead and update the contract instance as well. And we don't need to pass in that. It actually doesn't really change, but just in case there is some sort of there's a network change or something like that, the wallet address might change, and that's the easiest way to like kick things off. All right, and there's going to be a couple of functions that we're going to implement here. So first of all, I'm just going to like lay out everything, and then we're going to go one by one. All right, so we're going to start with create video, and it's going to be an async function with a caption and a URL input. Leave it right there. Next up, we're going to have a get all videos, which will again be an async function with no inputs, and then just close it right there. And then I mean, that's something we want to definitely run every single time when the application starts or the contract is being updated. So whenever the contract is updated, we want to run this get all videos function like that. And then there's going to be a couple more. So obviously you want to go ahead and like a video. So there's going to be another async function. And by the way, everything is going to be async in here. And if you like a video, you also want to dislike a video. Like that. And then you want to know whether a video is liked or not. And you also want to be able to get the number of likes on a specific video, just like that. And actually, I kind of want to put these at like right after all this get function. And so this will create a video. This will get all the videos. This will get for one specific video. Like this is a creator function. These are like this is get everything function. This is get one specific videos stuff, and then this is interacting with one specific or these are interacting with one specific video. So I just like to like kind of like group these based on these parameters. You can switch them around, like have whatever order in there. It doesn't really matter. It's just for my personal taste, and I prefer them like that. Now, you want to export a couple of things. So you definitely want to export create video because you will use it in other components. And then you want to export like video because you want to use it in other components. That you want to export dislike video because you want to use it in other components. And then you want to export videos as in the state because you want to use it in other components. And then disliked once again because you want to use it in other components. A. And then get number of likes because you guessed it, you want to use it in other components. Nice. There is some sort of error going on there. Maybe that's because I should be exporting videos instead of video. Well, that would be helpful if I try to export something that actually does exist. All right, let's hook all of these up with all of their respective. Let's hook all these functions up to all the components somewhere else in the app, and then we're just gonna like go through them, build them out, and we're done. So once again, what's happening is we are connecting all the functions before we even type them out, because it's just all kinds of like random setup stuff. It doesn't like, it breaks the flow. So I just want to like get them over with real fast, and we just like get to the meaty stuff fast. All right. So import your create video, destructure it, and then down here in your handle submit, instead of normal like regular way of doing things, we're going to toast.promise. I'm going to say toast.promise, which what it will do, it will give us a nice little animation that will wait for the function to resolve itself, and if it resolves, you're going to get a check mark, and if it doesn't, then you're going to get an X. And so it's like super visual, and it also like it's also really good for the user experience. It's a little weird when it comes to the code itself, because it has this React Hot Toast library that we're going to need to use, but that's the trade-off for some nice little animations. All right, so you're going to pass the create video function in here, where you're going to pass in the caption and the video URL, which are, by the way, all these states that we already set up here. So that's completely ready and waiting for you. And then there's a few things that you can pop in here. These are basically all the messages that the toast message will give you. So if it's still it's loading, then it's gonna say uploading video. This can take a moment with the little nice animation. Once it's succeeded, that's what it's gonna say, and there's an error message just so we handle that too, so you're gonna know if something went wrong. There are these two lines commented out, so we're just going to comment them back in, and that function should technically be pretty good to go. Let's go back to our context and just console log those things out whenever this function runs. Just like that, and that should be it. Let's see, what do we got? Let's see if it's working, if we need to do anything. So press that, type in caption and then URL, and then just hit create new. There you go, it's ready to go. And you also saw there's the toast message, so that's pretty good. All right, let's move on with our next one. All right, so let's go into our sidebar.js file, and this is actually just this, but there's like a lot of things going on there. So there you go. Let's go ahead and figure out what is happening here. So there's a few things that we're going to be destructuring here. So like, hang on there. So we're gonna need like video. We're gonna need dislike video. We're gonna need get number of videos, right? And we're gonna need is liked, like that. Got this. So let's just double check. Yeah, that's our gets. Okay, so there's no typos there, so that's pretty good. Now we're gonna be updating a few things here. Whoa, my Copilot is going hard. So we're gonna need a use effect in here, and I believe we have that imported. And then if not, it's gonna be an epic fail. we're gonna need to just create a function in here, because that's one thing that useEffect doesn't really let us do. So if you want to do, check if liked. If you want to do any kind of async stuff in inside of useEffect, you will need an internal function for that. So that's exactly what we're making. And then like straight away, right after that, just call it, and then you should be good to go. Or you can also create something called a self-executing function or self-invoking function. I'm not entirely sure of the name. I love them a lot. I usually use them, not this time though, but it's whatever. All right, so here we're gonna create a const liked variable, which is literally just gonna invoke the isLiked function and pass an ID. Now, after that, we're gonna also create a likes variable, which is going to wait for the get number of likes function to return a value, and then we're just gonna update all the states that we have here. So set number of likes. That's pretty easy. And then right above that, set liked. So all of these, we will be writing them in just a second. These will return, I already have that. I don't know how did I have it. Anyways, these functions will return, like obviously set liked will return a Boolean, and get number of, or set, or isLiked is going to return a Boolean, and get number of likes is going to return a number itself. But we're gonna need that. We're gonna need that to update all the stuff that we have here. And there's a useEffect issue that we have. That's completely fine because we can just copy that, and there was probably a typo. So there you go. That will update the value there. So let's see. If we go into context and we just say that it should return false, but I want it to return true, like that, and then get number of likes is going to return some weird number, like put something there, some very weird. There you go. Like it's working perfectly. Now we just like have to actually populate like real data to it, and there you go. Now it's liked, and if you want to change it to false, it's gonna be false, and there you go. You can also update that number. 55. There you go. It's working perfectly. Now we're just gonna get all the functionality behind it that is actually going to make this app work. And then there's one more file where we're going to be needing functions from the context. It's going to be the main view.js. Now here, as you can see, there's this dummy TikTok. I'm just going to remove it. We don't need that. Now what we do need though is, we actually have the destructuring ready for us. We need the videos. And here we're just gonna have another useEffect. Empty this out and empty that out. And we need to fire this up every single time whenever a video changes. So we want to update the TikTok's use state. So we're just gonna come in here and then set TikToks and then videos. So what this does is from here we'll populate all the video data into this use state, and then inside of main view we're going to use that, and we're going to use that to populate this data. Right now, because there's like no videos in there, it's just gonna say no videos, but that's completely fine. We're gonna get to it in a minute, and then it's going to have our videos. All right. And with that said, we're good to go on hooking up all the functionality to all the other components. Now it's actually just time to write all these functions, and we're gonna be done with this project in no time. All right. Now that we're able to get videos, or like with that error, but we're gonna fix that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and actually implement the create videos function. And by the way, this is gonna be like almost scary easy. Now, one more thing that you gotta make sure here is that, one more thing you wanna make sure here is that you're checking for the address as well. So if there's no user logged in, this function doesn't run, and it's not supposed to run. All right. So this guy what this is gonna do is we're just gonna wait, and we're gonna grab the contract, and then once again methods. So that's what I was saying. Look out for all the patterns that you can recognize and just like memorize them. All right. All right, let's see what do we got in the contract itself. We have create video. Okay, so let's put that guy there, and then we're gonna pass in a bunch of things. But this is what I was talking about in the previous section, that normally you would just hit the transact button, but in this case we're actually gonna be saying send. And what that will what that will do is pop open your MetaMask, and then do the kind of transactions that you saw on other websites. So you want to make sure the sender of the money is going to be the address, meaning the person that is actually logged in. All right, and that's what we're searching for. Now I just want to like put that there instead, and we can also put that guy there as well. So if the state is not updated, the app is not going to load. So that's perfect if we're checking for that. All right, so from user account, so the person who is logged in is going to be paying for this transaction. Basically all they gotta pay for is the gas fees, which is not that crazy high, especially now that there was this ETH merge. All right, you want to specify the gas, and in this case we're just gonna go with 1 million. And remember, this is in Waves, so this is like not ETH. All right, so like chill out. And then you want to set the gas price to be null. So basically what this is you're setting the max gas to be spent. It's going to be 1 million Wave, which is like a fraction of an Ethereum. And then you also want to set the gas price as in like the minimum, or like whatever money to be like burnt, or like whatever ETH to be burned is going to be null. And that should technically be pretty much good to go. Now, one more thing you want to add is you want to pass in the caption. And you want to pass in the URL that you are getting from this function. All right, so let's see how that works. So now that we got this guy, let's open that, and then this is my first video. And I got this video URL on my clipboard, so I'm just gonna put that. And I'll hit create new. Let's see what that does. Hit confirm. It says video uploaded. All right, let's see what we got. So it still says the get videos is not a function. That's a little interesting to me. Let's double check the log here. So this block seems to be working, so that's pretty good. And the contract address that we interacted with is the B9, so that should be good too. And I think obviously I was talking about how like pattern recognition, but I'm not recognizing the pattern itself either. So like when you got contract, there's a lot of things you can do with it. So when you want to call a method inside of a contract, you want to like specify that. It's like expecting someone to listen to you when you're not even calling them, right? Oh boy. And again, as usual, methods. All right, don't make these silly mistakes that I do. Like I literally had a mistake in this exact same row twice. All right, don't mess it up. Like same line, two of the same errors. Jeez. All right, let's see what's happening here. All right, cannot read properties of undefined address. All right, let's see. Footer. That's there's gonna be a few different. Wait, what's happening there? All right, let's restart this guy. All right, refresh. Well, that guy never had an issue. That's pretty good. All right, there you go. That's your first TikTok. I don't know why it's not showing up though. So that's interesting. Let's figure that part out. So we got the URL. That should technically work. All right, so as you can see, there's my link. However, if to go ahead and copy that. That's just an image. That's not gonna work. All right, let's go ahead and create a new TikTok post. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab a new link. All right, so finally I got a correct link. Let's just put this guy in here. And this is my first video that actually works. Let's see how that goes. All right, create new. Yep, confirm that guy. And there you go, video uploaded. All right, let's refresh. And if I scroll down, there you go. There is your first TikTok that you just uploaded. This, yeah, this will need to be redeployed. This is for a tutorial. Yeah, I put an image here. That's fine. That's fine. Anyways, now it's time to go ahead and actually like this video. It's a pretty good one. You should watch it. The Clever Programmer on TikTok. All right. That being said, let's go ahead and let's move on to the other functions. So there's a few more. There's isLiked and there's get number of likes. So let's actually get those done first, because those are gonna be the easiest ones. All right, so get number of likes. We got all the guard clauses and everything set up. So we're just gonna wait, and we're gonna say contract dot methods. Fine enough, didn't mess it up. Let's go to our Solidity file and then get number contract.methods. Okay, so we're gonna say await contract.methods, and we're gonna have a little bit of a twist here. So I think that, yeah, whatever Copilot thinks, that's fine. So let's go into our Solidity file. So if you think about it, we haven't really created any kind of get number of likes function in here. So instead, we are going to use this mapping. So let's see how we can call that. So activate that guy there, and then just close the output. We're not gonna need it, just open this. And then here, you see if you pass in the ID of the video, all right? If you pass in the ID of the video, that's where that's how you're gonna get that number of likes back. All right, so that's the one we're gonna call. So we're gonna say wherever we're at. Oh yeah, here, likes, and we're gonna pass in ID, which we get from the front end. We're gonna go ahead and call that, and let's just console log it before we do anything. And so for that, it is helpful if we put it in a variable. So it's gonna be likes, const likes equals that, and we just pass in likes there. And let's see, what do we got? There you go. There's 4 zeros. That means like, okay, it was console logged twice, but that's completely fine. Now we just gotta like pass it back to the front end. Actually, it's kind of cool that I have this black thing here, because it's like way easier to see it than here. That was actually a power move. Yes. All right. Well, what we're gonna do now is actually just go ahead and say return likes, remove the console log because we don't need that, and let's see. There you go. It says 0. Now, I could like it, but I mean, it doesn't go through yet, and it's just like random stuff happening. Don't worry about it. All right. Obviously, we haven't even defined this. So next up, we're gonna look for isLiked. And so once again, we're gonna be using the Solidity file here, and we're gonna go for the liked users. And we're gonna go for this like complicated mapping. So let's just go ahead, grab liked users, and then wait, where is this liked? Here is this liked. All right, there you go. So let's go ahead and type in await contract.methods, and then pass in that guy. And then if you remember, it needs two inputs. So one of them is going to be the user address, because we are interested in whether the user that is currently using the app has liked this video or not. And then we're going to pass in the ID, which we are getting from the front end, and then just call that. And then once again, you want to save it, user liked, in a separate variable, and then just return it. And let's see how that works out. Okay, so it says user address is not defined. That's interesting, because I can't clearly remember defining it. Oh, it's a user account. That would be helpful if everything was the same. All right, let's see. And there you go. Now that part works. Okay, so there's literally the only thing that's left is liking and disliking a video. So let's go ahead and implement those right now. Now, both of them are going to be almost the exact same. So I'm just going to type it out once and then copy paste and then we're good to go. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna call another function from the contract. So we got methods, and then how do we even call this? So come back here. Let's see, it was like video and it needed the ID. All right, so paste that. And then we're gonna pass in the ID that we got from the front end. Nice. And then we're gonna need to pass in a few things, but that's literally the same thing that we are passing in when we're creating it. So I'm just gonna, once again, for let's start, just copy it and then see how that works out. Now the same thing can be said about this like video. The only thing is we're gonna change the method that we're using, and that's going to be dislike video. Let's paste that there, and I'm just gonna refresh so everything is good to go and hit that. Okay, my MetaMask is popping up. There's nothing, no fees to pay. And if I refresh, my video is liked and there's one more like. There's one like. So that, my friends, is literally the entire build. Now you can go ahead, go customize this build, show it to your friends, family, whatever. But this is pretty much this build, and this is a wrap. I think this is a pretty good way. This was a pretty good video to understand a bunch of errors that you could be making while you are working on these projects. And I hope you get some value out of it. And if you did, let me know down below in the comments. That said, see you next time. Peace.